Hi everyone, Gig Coach Jake here, your go-to for gig economy news, tips, and tricks, and GrubHub has added to the stuff they've been doing. On top of a new pay model, which some of you just started experiencing in your market and some will experience soon, they have hidden some of the diner info, and now in some markets, the merchant address is hidden as well. On the incoming screen, all it shows is the PIN and the merchant name, and you do not have the address. Why would they do that, you may ask? It makes it a lot harder for us to go into Google Maps real quick and find out the distance before actually accepting that offer. We have only a certain amount of time, right? So the harder it makes it, the more inclined we are to just accept, then potentially reassign after or actually do the offer. That's what they want. What you can do, since they do zoom in and out that map, they do try to trick us visually, right? You can zoom in and really find out where that's at, get a better idea. Jump on Google Maps, type in that merchant name. They'll pull up, if there's several of them, different ones and a map with the locations. Click on that one that coincides, matches with the map. Then you'll be able to have your distance on there. If you absolutely have to, say you're driving or whatnot, and you have to accept, then you can pull over, check the distance. I would then check the distance not only to the merchant, but then the merchant to the customer as well. You have the customer address in there, so you have that information to be able to do and find out what your overall miles are going to be and kind of figure out what you think you're going to have to come back, any empty miles that you may have. If you're in a bad area, right, you're going to have to come back, or unless you're in a good area where you can get offers right away. So those are the things you have to think about. Don't worry, we can get around this stuff. Yes, it sucks they're hiding more stuff. They're taking away our ability to really be independent contractors. No brainer, right? We always knew that we're quasi-employees, but we do have some freedom and flexibility that independent contractors have. Now let's discuss the missing diner information when you accept the offer, right? Before you were able to see the tip amount, the address you can still see. You were able to see any notes. Before you'd see notes that maybe it was a pain in the butt or crazy instructions, maybe it was a sketchy, they wanted to go through an alley or whatnot, and you just weren't comfortable with that. Maybe it was a fourth floor that you were going to. You can still figure that out through the maps and then figure out on the address. It'll say, what apartment number. You can kind of get that information there. But again, it's making it harder for us without all that information there. No tip, no notes, and then you cannot see when the order is placed by. Why would they do that, you may ask? We cannot tell when we're going to need to show up at the restaurant. Yes, there's the picked up by time, but those have been all over the place lately. Crazy. You can't really guesstimate there. When we had the placed by time, we knew when the customer placed the order, when the merchant, we kind of had an idea when the merchant received it. We could really time ourselves on getting that and be able to multi-app. So those of us who like to multi-app, they have now made it that much harder for us to be efficient in what we're doing by taking away more of that information. Now, are they able to do this legally? I don't think so, but they've been able to get away with a lot of other crap that is not legal so far. What you can do, though, is you already know the tip amount based on the incoming screen. Where it really affects us is on stacked offers. Now, I talked about this in a video before. What they're setting us up for is a lot more stacked offers coming in. You will not be able to determine which one is the lower tip, lower paying, so that way you can reassign. I've seen go in complete opposite directions, right? So offers like these, where it makes no sense, where you normally would go in, you would pick and choose one, obviously the higher paying, and you would reassign the other. We're unable to do that now. Again, taking away that information as an independent contractor, things that we would do within a contract. So missing information, it's hard for us to agree to a contract with all the information and then not be able to come out of it or to, break that contract somehow. What that does is sets us up to reassign more and potentially get deactivated based on that metric alone. They could say that you're disrupting the platform that way. The more that you have to accept and reassign, the more you are at risk of getting deactivated from the platform. Rejecting offers alone, they can just mess with your timeouts, pausing, block restriction, that kind of crap, but they cannot deactivate you for it. One other thing that it takes away, a lot of you used to do, you would love to accept ones that were lower paying, right? And hope that it said cash tip in the notes. Guess what? You can no longer see whether it's cash tip or not And you have to go in and conduct that delivery and find out the hard way. What you can do, though, is start taking notes. For those of you that do try to keep a higher level and do have to accept more, I understand some of these markets, you cannot cherry pick like we can in mine. What you have to do, though, is really be diligent and keep track and take notes of the places and people that do not tip you so you can stay away from them. Keep track of that stuff. It will come in handy later. I've heard this before from drivers in other markets that use this, and it's very effective for them. Last but not least, this new pay model. It's a complete sham. What they've done is basically essentially taken all the gripes saying we want to be paid for time instead of fixing their dispatch system. The most simplest fix that's a win-win for everyone, takes care of all these problems. They didn't do. They put it on the drivers again. What they did was act like they're paying you for time with this new estimated amount. No more crows fly. They're trying to make it like, oh, since we're giving you actual mileage route, we're getting paid less. Anyone that's had it for more than a few weeks can see that we're making less on that model and even more, less and less as time goes on. You can best believe that lack of transparency sets them up to squeeze us over and over as time goes on. What can you do about it? Those that are Premier, you could start cherry picking. You can start multi-apping. You can go get another job. In fact, a lot of Premier drivers right now are quitting GrubHub. They're going and looking for regular work. They're getting out of this. They're done with it. They're set up for employee work anyway. Without all those benefits, it makes no sense for them to stay. What they can also do is join what I call the good side. People call it the dark side, but it's the good side. We're the ones making better choices, work as independent contractors that will eventually force the hand on these companies. Perfect example is here in Phoenix. They've had this for a little bit. We're, I believe, the second ones to get this new pay model. A lot of drivers here, we don't have as many Premier. We have a lot of cherry pickers. We work smarter here, and I've really worked hard on that. And people do it on their own, too. It's not just because of me. That has forced them to start bonus and calling people. If you do get a call from GrubHub, so pay attention that if you don't have an incoming offer or whatnot, if you see that Chicago number calling, put it on speakerphone. If you have dash cam, make sure you got a recording. Put it on speakerphone, start a recording app, get voice recording with them on speakerphone. There's a few different things that you can do to actually get recording. That's your only proof and evidence of them saying that we're going to give you a $5 bonus, $10 bonus. Someone just messaged me 2 days ago, an email said that they were offered a $5 bonus and got $2. I've heard of people getting $0 in the past with this. My market, they're offering a lot of $10 bonuses, and they're actually receiving them. So there's not very many people that say they aren't getting paid. But you have to cover your own behind and get voice recording. Any and all conversations you have with these people, whether it's customer care, driver specialist, I don't care who, GrubHub, anywho, you should be recording that. If you're in a two-party state, let them know from the get-go, from the jump, that you're recording the call. If you're in a one-party state, you do not have to tell them whatsoever. You need this. Another thing, get things in writing if possible. Incoming offers, you have to screenshot every single one. If you're driving, you can't do it, pull over. You have enough time to pull over, stop, do whatever. That is your only proof of the contract, and it's binding. For example, recently I got a stacked offer. They tried to pay me for half of that offer. They screwed up. There was some type of glitch. Anyhow, it was offered to me at like $42. They tried to pay me $21. That screenshot, that evidence of the contract binding, was something that got that payment back right away. I copied my driver specialist, thanks to someone who gave that recommendation, in an email to driver payment, which takes like 5 to 7 business days or something crazy to even get back to you. Might even be 7 to 10. But within 24 hours, I had that extra money put into my account. He let me know if anyone else has experienced this, to contact him right away, and he'll take care of it. I have a video coming soon to break that down in great detail and what I'm talking about, what I went through, and how you can get paid on this as well. With all these changes, I know it sucks. There's still a way to succeed and do well in this work. You have to multi-app. Do not be at the mercy of one gig app like GrubHub. Anyhow, with all that being said, I'm going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. For those that are catching this early enough, Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Be there, be square. If not, catch the rewind. We're going to be discussing this more in great detail, as well as the other apps, how you can get around it, what offers you should be looking for, and a lot of tips on how to make more money succeed, even with all these changes that are affecting us drivers in a negative way. Have a great day, evening, be safe out there. As always, work smarter.